So
It's not touching the ground.
that's what we're able to do as of today.
That's today. Okay.
We should get a bigger
Yes.
flagpole.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Because otherwise it's touching the ground. So,
The size of the flagpole doesn't matter, does it?
but
Doesn't matter.
It just can't touch the ground.
Can't touch the ground.
yeah, we just need it because you can wrap it, but then that's still not
Right.
properly.
No.
So-
We just need a bigger pole or a smaller flag.
It's not
One
on
of
the
the
ground.
others.
It's
Two
on a little
choices.
platform.
Smaller flag might be easier.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering why we have such a large flag in here.
It's a very big.
I mean, that's a flag that goes out on
It's an outside flag.
outside. So
Okay, great. So you're on it, is what I know. Delightful. Great.
we're on it.
All right, now we're ready for girls.
Jules is helping me with that. She's keeping me on my toes.
Okay, so it is 6:02 on May 28th, 2024. I'll call the special meeting of the North Kingstown School Committee to order. The first thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you're able to, please join us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Erin Earl.
Here.
Robert Case.
Here.
Jennifer Lima. Here. James Sheehan.
Here.
Deborah Witkowsko. Christine LaPierre. Maggie Bush.
Okay, do you have anyone signed up for citizens' comments?
None.
Okay, so seeing none, we will move on to unfinished business. Can I get a motion for item A?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, and so we'll turn it over to Dr. Dubin team just to kind of walk us through this agenda item and what they are proposing.
Yes, thank you very much. So at our last school committee meeting, we approved $25,000 so we can start the stage 2 design work for the application to RIDE, and that was so Perkins Eastman can start the designs and the structuring of that. When we followed up with them, Mr. Waterman followed up with Mr. Costa the following day, and he noted that they did have the borings study and the property study already scheduled because those two were additional studies that need to be completed for the application. And he said, you know, if we do not do it at this time, that is going to delay everything that needs to be done, which would delay what we would be able to, for the application to be submitted on September 15th. So that's when I requested a special meeting for us to provide additional funding so we can make sure that those studies are completed at this time. So what is being recommended is that $53,000 is the total cost. It is $25,000 for the borings study, and it's $28,000 for the property surveillance study, for a total of $53,000 that we use from the fund balance, the unassigned fund balance. We have a total of $991,663 that we commit $53,000 of that to the stage 2 work that they're requesting to get done right now.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the committee?
I had a question. So it was my impression from discussions at the last meeting and from listening to the building subcommittee meeting that this testing was part of the group of testing that they had listed as an add-on and was something that was going to need to be done, but I didn't get the impression that it was something that needed to be done right away.
So I know what they had mentioned, those were the two studies that we would have to do for this application. The other two studies that were in there were studies that we could wait. It was
the bottom. It was top 2 versus bottom 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the last two. One was regarding the. I don't have that other proposal in front of me.
Because there were 4 things down at the bottom.
There were 4.
Yeah.
The top
These,
2 was the borings and the
yeah.
property. Those were the 2 that had to get done.
Okay.
And what they did, because of the timing, they got pre-scheduled so we can move right away with it. The other 2 items they were going to wait to do and see if we can do once stage 2 is submitted.
Okay.
And those top 2 are critical. So the geotechnical is going to tell them the foundation, the type of foundation, the loads, the depths, which is what they need to really design the building to get that, to get the schematic design done for the September submission. And same thing, flagging is would identify if there were any wetlands or anything that popped up that, you know, we'd have to cause them to shift the building. So that's why those 2 are so important that to happen earlier. And if you think back a year ago, those were the flagging was the first one that was done at Quid, and then geotechnical was done on the Davisville site immediately following the flagging.
Okay. Do you know when, if approved, this is starting?
So we actually marked the ground today.
Okay.
because we have to give dig safe 72 hours. So this is the geotech is scheduled for June 3rd, next Monday.
Okay.
And Jen, just the other two studies, one was a life cycle cost analysis for 29,000, the other one was the energy model for 15. And that's what they want to work with RIDE to see if they can kind of hold that
Push
off.
those off. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is not like unanticipated that
No,
we
no,
need to do it. I think the reason that we're here today in a special capacity is
Yep.
because of the timeline and the amount of time that they need for the dig safe, and then also what we did last time was close but not quite enough, and waiting until the next meeting was going to have impact. So
Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't unanticipated. I guess
Yeah.
I just didn't realize that these two tests were like so
The first
imminent.
ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
like so imminent in terms of timing.
Since it's before the end of school, I'm assuming you guys have worked with the principal, and is it going to interfere with any activities on the field or at all?
So I did speak with the principal last week to make sure that they had no activities scheduled. And while I was out there, I ran into the phys ed teachers and let them know that it'll be noisy, but they can use. So this is predominantly happening near the baseball field. The softball field will be available to them if they want to use that if they are still outside.
Okay.
is there any external groups that use our fields that need to be aware of the work?
I'll make sure. No, I don't believe anybody's using our fields, but I'll confirm that with facilities and if need. Well, and the work will be done early enough so if there was a 6 o'clock baseball game,
Got you.
it would happen. But I don't believe anybody's playing baseball on that field.
And Mike, going forward, just projecting out forward, when construction begins, hopefully on time, is there any way we could garner some lands or reserve something, maybe at Wilson Park in some capacity, if that plot of land that's used for sports today can't be used at that time, so it's under construction?
I don't believe Wilson has a baseball field that's that size. I believe it's a smaller Little League field versus.
I don't think
Right, but there could be something that would make more
Yeah,
sense than having no place at all.
Yeah.
So I know that they
No
use.
place somewhere else.
I know that
They
they
also
use
use
Davisville.
Lishio Field.
Davisville,
Yeah.
they can use, okay.
Or is Lishio much larger?
Lishio's a larger field, but it wouldn't be out of the. It's not too large. You know, the home run fence might be a little bit, but
So
as
there
far
are,
as the
so there are a
90
few
foot-
options.
And soccer field, same type of thing,
Yeah, and I do know that our soccer. So we already use Wilson for some.
soccer.
For some
Because
games.
I've seen them play at home
Yep.
too.
Yeah, they play. They do play at both locations.
Okay, thank you.
And then do we have a sense of when this, if the work's starting on June 3rd, et cetera, when we'll get kind of these initial studies back? Because I know that had a big impact, especially at the Quid site. Like once we got this information, it kind of made it less desirable as far as the acreage that we're able to use, et cetera. Do we have a sense of when we'll get that information back? for
I
these
don't
two
have that.
studies?
I don't have that information
Alright.
this evening
Alright.
because I know that I believe the flagging was starting on the 4th.
Mhm.
So I want to just confirm that because there was a little bit of back and forth as far as postponing and then grabbing those dates back. So I will have that information for you next week.
Thanks.
And thank you for handling it too, Mike, appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
And just to clarify, the amount, Ken, that we're being asked to approve tonight, is it 53 in addition to what we did last
So,
time?
yes, it's 53,000 in addition to the 25,000 that we
Yep.
already allocated from the last meeting.
And just to be clear, that 53 is on top of the total that was in that contract, right?
Yes, it was on top of the 379,000.
Okay, so
'Cause
it's
these were the
379 minus 25 plus 53.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Any further questions? Okay, and so we did have a motion to approve the funding for stage 2 design, engineering, and consulting services for the RIDE 2 stage 2 submission as recommended by the superintendent. Are we good with that motion, Jen? I think it's good enough, as written. Okay. So hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, thank you so much.